Part 24.13 Surah An-Nur, the Light. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Sufi Essence with Hammad Syed, Kanzul Aman, Quran. An-Nur, the Light, 24-61-64. Verse 61. There is no blame upon the blind, nor upon the lame, nor upon the sick, nor upon yourselves that you eat from your houses, or the houses of your fathers, or the houses of your mothers, or the houses of your brothers, or the houses of your sisters, or the houses of your paternal uncles, or the houses of your paternal aunts, or the houses of your maternal uncles, or the houses of your maternal aunts, or from those houses whose keys you possess, or from the house of a friend. There is no blame upon you whether you eat together or separately. But when you enter houses, greet one another with a greeting from Allah, blessed and pure. Thus does Allah make clear to you the verses so that you may understand. Verse 62. The true believers are only those who believe in Allah and His Messenger. And when they are with Him for a collective affair, they do not depart until they have asked His permission. Indeed, those who ask your permission are the ones who truly believe in Allah and His Messenger. That are so, when they ask your permission for some of their personal matters. Give permission to whom you will from among them, and ask Allah to forgive them. Indeed, Allah is forgiving, merciful. Verse 63. Do not treat the call of the messenger among yourselves like the call of one of you to another. Allah certainly knows those among you who slip away secretly, so let those who oppose His command beware, lest a trial afflict them, or a painful punishment befall them. Verse 64. Unquestionably, to Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and the earth. He certainly knows the state you are in, and the day you are returned to Him, He will inform them of what they did. And Allah is all-knowing of everything. My esteemed listeners, with these final 4 profound verses, 24-61-64, we draw a ceremonial, yet deeply significant, close to our extensive journey through Surah An-Nur, the Light. This section performs the final, crucial ethical synthesis of the entire surah, seamlessly transitioning from the meticulous focus on individual modesty and domestic privacy to the broad, encompassing codes of communal unity, public conduct, and collective respect for authority. It culminates in a definitive theological statement that binds all the surah's luminous instructions back to the absolute sovereignty and omniscience of Allah. The first of these conclusive verses, 24-61, stands as a magnificent testament to the compassion and ease of the divine law, relieving the community from anxieties and social burdens surrounding the simple daily act of eating. There is no blame upon the blind, nor upon the lame, nor upon the sick, nor upon yourselves that you eat from your houses, or the houses of your fathers. The initial mention of the physically challenged, the blind, the lame, and the sick specifically addresses a pre-Islamic or early societal anxiety. These individuals often refrained from eating with others out of the mistaken fear that their physical ailments might be repulsive or impose a burden, or that their physical challenges might prevent them from fully contributing to the meal. Allah graciously removes this social constraint, declaring that they are fully welcome, and emphasizing that their participation imposes no blame or social stigma whatsoever. This establishes a clear principle of social inclusion and mutual dignity within the community. The verse then extends this ruling to the general population, providing an extensive, compassionate list of places where one may eat without the prior formal requirement of specific permission or the rigid adherence to formal hosting protocol. This list includes the houses of close family members' fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, uncles, and aunts, recognizing the essential informality and shared nature of the extended family unit. It further includes those houses whose keys you possess, which refers to caretakers or agents who hold keys to property to manage it, and most beautifully, the house of a friend. This inclusion highlights the sacred nature of sincere friendship in Islamic social ethics, where the close bond is considered a legal and ethical justification for sharing food without the unnecessary formality that might diminish the warmth of the relationship. This ruling is a profound mechanism for strengthening familial and social ties by legally dissolving the anxious burdens of hospitality and making shared sustenance a simple, spontaneous act of love and unity. Crucially, the verse addresses the communal mechanics of eating, stating, "There is no blame upon you whether you eat together or separately." This removes any rigid compulsion regarding whether one should eat communally or individually, thus accommodating personal preference or physical need. However, the verse concludes with a specific, permanent social instruction concerning the moment of entry. But when you enter houses, greet one another with a greeting from Allah, blessed and pure. This transforms the simple act of social entry into a profound spiritual practice. The greeting, the peace known as Assalamu alaikum, is designated as a greeting from Allah, blessed and pure. By connecting the greeting to Allah, it is infused with divine virtue, making it an act of worship that brings a palpable sense of blessing and spiritual purity to the home. This final command in the verse is the foundation of true domestic peace and spiritual harmony. The focus shifts in verse 24 to 62 to the ethics of public assembly and collective responsibility, centering on the conduct of the true believer in the presence of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The true believers are only those who believe in Allah and His Messenger, and when they are with Him for a collective affair, they do not depart until they have asked His permission. This verse provides a definitive operational definition of the true believer. Contrasting sharply with the hypocrisy detailed earlier in the surah, the proof of faith is not merely verbal affirmation, but demonstrable obedience and respect for the Prophet's authority, particularly when that authority is exercised in the context of a collective affair, a matter of public importance, communal welfare, or military consultation. The act of seeking permission before leaving the assembly is a profound, ritualized acknowledgement that the individual's time and resources are now subordinate to the collective welfare and the Prophet's command. It is the external, tangible proof of genuine sincerity and commitment to the community's cause. The verse reinforces this standard by stating, "Indeed, those who ask your permission are the ones who truly believe in Allah and His Messenger." The action confirms the claim. Recognizing that even the most sincere individuals face legitimate personal needs, the verse then grants permission to the Prophet, peace be upon him, to exercise compassionate judgment. So when they ask your permission for some of their personal matters, give permission to whom you will from among them, and ask Allah to forgive them. Indeed, Allah is forgiving, merciful. This shows the magnificent balance between firm discipline and gentle mercy. The Prophet, peace be upon him, can grant leave based on his wisdom and discernment, and is commanded to supplicate to Allah for their forgiveness, ensuring that the necessary act of temporary departure is spiritually protected. A serious warning is issued in verse 24 to 63 regarding the need to maintain absolute respect for the Prophet's spiritual and temporal position. Do not treat the call of the messenger among yourselves like the call of one of you to another. Allah certainly knows those among you who slip away secretly. ... This instruction is vital for maintaining the spiritual and political integrity of the early Muslim state. The Prophet's call or command is not to be casually dismissed, ignored, or treated with the same flippant disregard that one might show to a peer or an equal. His directives carry the weight of divine law and are essential for the survival and success of the nascent community. The warning that Allah certainly knows those among you who slip away secretly is a profound deterrent, confirming that hidden spiritual insincerity, akin to the previously discussed hypocrisy, cannot escape the omniscient gaze. Consequence of opposing the command is dire. So let those who oppose His command beware, lest a trial afflict them or a painful punishment befall them. The term trial, fitna, here refers not only to a social or political disaster resulting from disobedience, but also to a spiritual affliction, the loss of guidance and the hardening of the heart, which is ultimately the worst form of punishment. The surah concludes its beautiful, encompassing guidance with a majestic, universal affirmation of Allah's absolute sovereignty and knowledge in verse 24 to 64. Unquestionably, to Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and the earth. Certainly knows the state you are in. The day you are returned to Him, He will inform them of what they did. And Allah is all-knowing of everything. This final, powerful verse serves as the grand theological conclusion, a definitive summation that anchors every instruction, every ethical code, and every promised reward within the framework of divine ultimate reality. The declaration that to Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and the earth is the final, unassailable statement on absolute ownership and authority. The light near discussed throughout the surah originates and terminates with Him. It is a powerful reminder to the believer that their loyalty, their obedience, and their struggle for sincerity are ultimately directed toward the sovereign of the cosmos, not merely a temporal leader. The assurance that he certainly knows the state you are in reaffirms the profound truth of omniscience. Whether the individual is in a state of open obedience, secret avoidance, deep faith, or concealed hypocrisy, every minute detail, every fleeting thought, and every internal reservation is fully known to Allah. This statement provides both comfort to the sincere whose unseen struggles are recorded, and terror to the disingenuous whose secret actions are exposed. The conclusion, and the day you are returned to him, he will inform them of what they did, places all the previous discussions of modesty, etiquette, justice, and obedience into their final, ultimate context. The social codes and spiritual disciplines are not merely suggestions for this life, they are the documented records upon which the eternal judgment will be passed. The final assurance in Allah is all-knowing of everything, leaves no ambiguity. The divine law is rooted in perfect knowledge, and the divine judge misses nothing. With this powerful, comprehensive affirmation of Allah's ultimate reality, the luminous Surah An-Nur is brought to a conclusive, magnificent end, leaving the believer on a path of clear guidance and unwavering accountability. Hadith, the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught, "Whoever loves for Allah and hates for Allah, gives for Allah, and withholds for Allah, is perfected faith." This hadith, recorded in Sunan Abu Dawud Hadith No. 4683, perfectly summarizes the sincerity and unconditional obedience demanded in verses 24 to 62-63, the true believers mentioned. In the Quranic verse are those whose motivations their love, their hatred, their generosity, and their reserve are entirely for the sake of Allah. This spiritual perfection is what compels them to seek the Prophet's permission before leaving a collective affair, recognizing that their presence or absence is a matter related entirely to the service of the divine cause. Placing the collective command above personal whim, thereby demonstrating the external proof of their perfected faith. Let us now supplicate, drawing from the profound lessons of these verses, asking Allah to grant us a deeper understanding and to guide our every step. Dua, O Allah, the sovereign and all-knowing. Infuse our gatherings with your blessing and purify our greetings with your peace. Assalamu alaikum. Grant us the profound sincerity to prioritize the collective affair over our own desires and the obedience to hold your messenger's call as sacred and ultimate. Protect us from the spiritual trial that befalls those who oppose your commands. On the day we are returned to you, O ArRahman, accept our shortcomings and forgive our errors, for you know the state we are in. May Allah illuminate your heart and mind with the light of this divine ill. May He make your channel a beacon of guidance for all who seek spiritual clarity and truth. May your efforts be a source of immense reward, and may you be granted the highest stations of paradise. May the peace and blessings of Allah always be upon you and your loved ones. May He grant you unwavering steadfastness on the path of truth, and may your work be a testament to His magnificent names, ArRahman and ArRaheem. Ameen.